Welcome to your everyday math lesson for 4.5. So we're going to be working on 4.5 today. It is all about rounding. So one of the things when we're rounding that you need to work on, and one of the things that you need to remember and think about is when you're rounding with decimals, it's the same process as when you round with whole numbers. So when you're rounding with whole numbers, just to review with you a little bit, so if I write the number 328, if I'm rounding to the nearest 10, you're going to follow the same exact steps. One of the things that I use with my kids is I use something called the rounding wrap. So when we do the rounding wrap, it's kind of fun because literally it takes you through the steps if you sing the song. So I'm also going to attach that. I'm not going to play it right now. I am going to say the words that go along with it though. So it's find the place value in, circle the digit, move to the right and underline it. 0 through 4, the circle stays the same. 5 through 9, rounding up is the game. So because it's an 8, I'm going to round up. So my 2 now becomes a 3. Flex your muscles like a hero. Digits to the right, turn to 0. All the other numbers stay the same. Now you're a hero in the rounding game. So that's the word that goes along with it. So that's kind of how you do the rounding wrap. And it's the same method as if you're using with decimals. So if my number was 3.28 and I was rounding, it would be closer to 3.30. Now, it's a little tricky because we think of this as getting rid of that 0 normally, right? So if I have 3.30, a lot of times they get rid of the 0 and they say it's only 3/10. So the fact that 28 hundredths is actually closer to 3/10 sometimes can be a little tricky. Basically, what you have to do is pretend like that 0 still is there. That's a good way to think about this, okay? For the method and for what we're doing today, that's what I'm going to do with my lesson. So as I'm doing that, keep that in mind. I do want you to keep and also think that 3 and 30 hundredths is the same amount as 3 and 3/10. It's the same thing. It's just a little different. It looks a little differently because now we're counting thousands in there too, okay? So this is just something that you can think about when we're doing rounding. So we're going to start with number 1. This is with our math message. So with our math message, we were supposed to start by shading our grid to the right to show 0 and 28 hundredths. So right now what you're going to see is all of these are hundredths. Notice they're not the tiny squares. These are just the hundredths. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little more clear with kind of how I'm shading. Okay. So just like before, I'm going to draw my little hint. I know that when it's in the tenths column, it's a long, and my hundredths column is a little tiny square, right? So I need 2 longs. And 8 squares. That's what we're going to do. So now we need to think, is this closer to 2/10 or is it closer to filling up 3/10? What do you think this image, or what do you think 28 hundredths is closest to? 28 hundredths is closer to filling up 3/10. The reason why is because if I look at this right here, it is really close to filling up this last column. That's how I know that it's closer to 3/10. Now, you can use the number line also to help you. So again, with this number line, I'm going to kind of change it a little bit. This is how I think of numbers. I think when I think of 2/10, especially knowing that this is my number I'm going to use, I'm going to make it be 20 hundredths to 30 hundredths. It's going to help me think things through. So between 20 and 30, my half one would be 0.25. And then I spread it out a little bit more. 0.26, 0.27, 0.28, 0.29, 0.21, 0.22, 0.23, 0.24. And then I need to find where is 0.28. It's going to be about right here. So again, same idea. Is it closer to the 0.20 or 0.30? It's closer over here. So if somebody asks you if 0 and 28 hundredths, if you round it, what's the closest to the nearest tenth, you would say it's closest to 3/10. That's how you do it. We're going to do a couple more to practice. So this time, it is also in thousandths. So the first thing it says to do is shade the grid to the right to show thousandths. So 0.619. All right, ready to get that shading going? Let's go. I'm going to use my purple. That means I have 6 longs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to be very careful because I don't want to go over. You got to color really neatly on this, guys. Okay, that's my line on the side. Again, if you need to write the little numbers or the little signs above your numbers, that is a good way to remember what actually you need to color for each digit, okay? All right, there is my tenths. I have 100ths, so I'm going to go to this box right here and color in that 100ths. And then finally, I'm going to use my little pin because I need to color in 9 thousandths. So I'm going to zoom in for you. 9 thousandths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to do a little bit of rounding. So when I look at 619, when I think of this, I'm going to now round to the nearest hundredths. Okay, so right now I have 61 hundredths or 62 hundredths. What is this closer to? Is it closer to being only one square, or is it closer to filling that up? So when I say it's between 3.61 and 3.62, remember, you can add those zeros in at the end, and that's going to help you, right? Now, it says what number is exactly halfway between those numbers. So between these two numbers, there's a hint. What number is exactly in the middle of those two numbers? I'm going to look at this. Between 10 and 20, I know right in between those two numbers is going to be 15. So my number right in the middle would be 3.615, or 3 and 615 thousandths. All right. Over here, 3.61, 3.62, and right in the middle we said is 3.615. All right, I need to use my number line and I need to mark. Where would 3.619 be? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's going to be about right here. Okay. With that being said, looking at this picture, if I were to round this number now, what is it closer to? Rounding to the nearest hundredth. Is it closer to 3.62 or 3.61? What is this number closest to? It is definitely closer to 3.612. I'm sorry, 620 or 3.62. Now, I did it the way that they want us to do it on here, shading, showing you the number line. Now I'm going to show you another way to use it, doing just the rounding wrap and using rounding like we normally do. Okay? 3.619 rounded to the nearest hundredth is what the question asked. So find the place value and circle the digit. What digit is in my hundredths column? All right, the digit we're going to look for is this one right here. This is my hundredths digit. Move to the right and underline it. 0 through 4, the circle stays the same. 5 through 9, adding 1 is the game. So it's a 9. So that means right here to my circle, I'm going to add 1. All right? So that means my circle turns into a 2. Flex your muscles like a hero. Digits to the right turn to 0. All the other numbers stay the same. Now you're a hero in the rounding game. That's how you're going to do this problem. Gets you the same answer, does it the same exact way. This is just a different strategy. Okay, let's try a couple more. Back side of your paper. Don't mind the marker on there. I'm sorry, it's a little messy, but it's okay. It'll work. We're going to be on page 124 right now. So using the number lines to round each number, be sure to label the tick marks on each number line. I am going to do one for you using the number line. The rest, I'm just going to do using the rounding. I do need to show it to you, but I at least wanted to give you an idea with the number line. But the rest, we're going to just practice the rounding wrap and go from there because I think that's going to be a little bit easier for a lot of us, okay? 3.6 to the nearest whole number. So if this is 3 and this is 4, right in the middle would be 3.5. So 3.6 would be about right here. Rounded number. So is it closer to 3 or is it closer to 4? What do you think? It is closer to 4. Did you round up or did you go down? Well, I went from 3.6 all the way to 4.0. So I went up. There we go. 2.73 to the nearest tenth. All right, this is 2.7 and this is 2.8. 2.75. So if this is right in the middle, where would 2.73 be? About right here. So is that closer to 2.7 or 2.8? For this one, it is closer to 2.7, and I went down. Okay? Awesome. There are 4 more. We're going to practice those 4 just using the rounding wrap. I'm going to go ahead and use it on my whiteboard because that's easier for me to show you, especially with the marker. It's driving me a little crazy today, guys. So let's do it. 2.73 to the nearest whole number this time. 2.73 to the nearest whole number. What digit is my whole number? What digit is my whole number? For this one, your whole number is going to be 2. All right. Find the place value, circle the digit, move to the right, underline it. 0 through 4, the circle stays the same. 5 through 9, adding 1 is the game. I'm going to add 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. Flex your muscles like a hero. Digits to the right, turn to 0. This one is going to be closer to 3. So your answer would be closer to 3. For this one, did we go up or did we go down? Did we say it was closer to 2 or 3? We went up. Great. 4.254 to the nearest hundredth. Nearest hundredth. Find the place value and circle the digit. Move to the right. Underline it. 0 through 4, the circle stays the same. 5 through 9, adding 1 is the game. It's going to stay the same because it's a 4. So I just rewrote it. Flex your muscles like a hero. Digits to the right, turn to 0. All the other numbers stay the same. So this one is going to be closer to 4.250. So your answer would be 4.25, or you could say 4.250, and we went down. Okay. Number 5, same exact number, only this time we're going to go to the nearest tenth. Nearest tenth. Find the place value and circle the digit. Move to the right and underline it. 0 through 4, the circle stays the same. 5 through 9, adding 1 is the game. I want you to finish the rest of this on your own. What would I round this to if I rounded it to the nearest 10th? All right, if I round it to the nearest 10th, my 2 will turn to a 3. Flex your muscles like a hero. They turn to a 0. Digits stay the same on the left. That's how you do it. All right, so this one would be 4.3, and we went up. Awesome. All right, and finally, same exact number to the nearest whole number. All right, nearest whole number, let's go. I am not going to walk you through it yet. I want you to see if you can find it rounded to the nearest whole number. What do you think? All right, here we go. Circle, underline, it's a 2, so it stays the same, 4. So your answer should have been 4, and we went down. Awesome. That's how you do that problem. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great job, guys. I'm excited to have the next little part coming up for you is going to be how you use this rounding in the real world. Have a great day. I hope that you enjoyed the lesson, and we will see you soon. Bye.